Second here. You have to. They're amazing. Peggy's here today with your other name.
Yes.
Okay, we are live. We're live. Penny's here today. Penny, thanks for working today.
Absolutely.
We're glad you're here. Penny switched her schedule around to help us out on this wonderful Friday. And then we have Peggy, so we have Penny and Peggy. And we're joking because somebody called Penny Peggy.
Oh, yeah.
And that's what
All
she
the
was
time.
called.
Yep. All the time.
And even one of our.
You're never called Penny.
Are you ever called Penny, Peggy?
I have. I've been called a lot of things.
But not Penny. I know. I don't. Even one of our own staff members wrote Penny's name down as Peggy,
Yep.
but she is Penny, and she's very special. Today, Peggy is here also, besides Penny, and she's back with some of her amazing layouts, and you are going to love it. Today's theme is vacation, and don't we all want to just go take a vacation? That is super for sure. I know I wouldn't mind it.
Yeah.
And Peggy's going to show us how to make waves. Oh, make waves in a good way,
We're
right?
making good waves.
We're making good
Fun
waves. You know, if you make waves, that's not a good thing, but although it could be.
Yep.
And she's got lots of samples to show us, and everyone's really excited. They're saying hello. Happy
hello.
Friday, everybody. If you are in the area, stop by. I guess we better give a shout out to who we are. And we are memory bound. We're located right in the middle of Iowa in Ankeny. And if you can't come into the store, we've got a great online store. As you know, if you're here, we've got a wonderful Facebook page that we keep up to date and a blog and all kinds of good things. So everybody's happy that it's Friday.
I am too.
And yes, and Peggy took the day off today to be with us. So
Yep.
thank you for that. Everyone's saying hello. We got
Hello, hello.
Texas. Martha's here and Maggie's here and Darlene. Everyone's saying happy Friday.
It is
And
a good day.
a lot of people are excited about scrapbook layouts.
State
so-
track is going on today, so maybe some of those mothers of those athletes will
Yeah,
be in
maybe
to
they'll stop
buy
in.
supplies. And
It is a state track
Yeah.
meet. Katie has a son that's running today. So she's probably not going to be able to watch today, but she's probably out there hopefully with a rain jacket.
Yeah.
There's a few little sprinkles going on this morning here in Ankeny. But anyway, let's get started and see your wonderful things. I love that you even have Route 66
Yes.
out here, and
Yes.
she's gathered up some travel things to show us.
I'm going to start off with these ones that are framed right here and talk about those just a little bit. Anytime that you do a layout, you can frame it and display it in your house. It doesn't have to go into an album or anything like that. You can display your pictures. They're kind of a fun way to display your pictures. These three that I did for my daughter and her husband when they took their on their honeymoon. They did a road trip from Minnesota clear to the West Coast and then back again. So a lot of these pictures are from that. It's just a fun
so
way.
they have these hanging up then?
Yep,
Peggy,
they
in
have
their
them
house?
hanging up in their house. I had to steal them from her.
Well, thank you for doing that so we could enjoy them too.
Yeah.
They have a lot, there's a lot of detail here, a lot of compositions, I call them, where you've got things kind of stacked together.
And I know I used letter stickers here on this layout, and then I outlined them with a black pen just to give them a little more definition.
Oh, that's why they look different. Well, let me see if I can, we got a little bit of light glare from the lights. Let me go like this. All right.
And then the word vacation, I actually cut out of a map.
Oh, I love that. And you outlined that also.
Yep.
That's
Just
a
to get
good
a little
tip. Get a fine pen like the La Pen or the Zig Writer. The fine tip would be great for that.
Usually like a 0.3 is pretty good for outlining things with a thin line. And a couple little details like on this one I used a corner piece there, and I did that in both the top and the bottom just to give a little bit of
Kinda frame
added
it a little
interest. And then you know, the tabs on top of some of the pictures, or, you know, the different ephemera, just to give it some fun.
Now,
and this has the different states that, you know, they may have traveled through with some pictures and things. And right now, Cartabella, I think, has the
new collection.
The new collection, I think it's right there, the road trip collection. And this Route 66 would go great with it.
Oh my gosh, yes, it would. That is our newest travel collection. It's from Steve Duncan. He's the artist that does a lot of retro. He used to work for Disney. He worked for October Afternoon. You guys probably get tired of me saying that, but
he's pretty awesome.
He is. He's got some really good stuff. And
the
this would be good for a road trip, wouldn't it, Peggy?
It would. It would. I mean, there you have a title right there. You don't even have to think about it, the road trip. And that road trip could be, you know, as far from, you know, here to Des Moines to Adventureland or something.
Be.
Sometimes that's a long road trip.
It could be
kids.
anything. Anything. Okay, Peggy, this is Total Squirrel, but they're asking about your shirt.
My shirt.
And it says, See the good.
See the good, yep. Ramble and Company.
All right, it's very cute.
Yep.
Very cute.
Yep.
And it kind of goes with your layout. If I back up, you kind of got that yellow
got
gold
colors,
going
yeah.
on.
Yep. I wear it all the time. It's so comfortable. It's just, and washes well, so.
It's cute.
Get away from that. But anyhow, so, you know, take a chance, frame your layouts, display them. When you do go on trips and you take the pictures, share them with other people. That's my one piece of advice right there, is share them and let them have the joy in it as much as you have the joy in the vacation that you took.
That's a great piece of advice. And, you know, we tell people don't leave your pictures in your cameras or your phones.
Right. Print
Get them in your albums.
Print
But gosh,
them.
getting them on your walls is even better. Then you can really enjoy them.
Yep. So that's a fun way to do it. And so now I'll get started on these layouts over here. And my husband and I went on a cruise not too long ago. You might kind of pick up that theme there. And I decided I wanted to make an album just of the cruise pictures. And so I thought, okay, what is the first page of my album going to be? And I decided it was going to be our itinerary.
Well, that's a great idea. So you can remember what you did.
Where we've been, where we're going. And so I'm going to put it down here too. So on this, I used cardstock basically, and just a little bit of from this 6x6 pad, the different blues, to make my elements. And I love that the shade, it was 3 different shades, so I can kind of go light to dark with the variegated colors.
I see what you mean, yeah.
And I did that the same.
Chevrons are pretty neat.
I did that with the lettering as we went on.
Kind of reminds you of oceany.
Yeah, because the water is darker and lighter in different places, and I kind of wanted to highlight that. But I started off with, you know, flying into Miami and then getting on our boat, and each of the places that we went and things that we did. So.
Well, it looks. Sorry, I'm not talking because it looks so fun. It makes me want to hop on a boat and go on a cruise.
It was a lot of fun. I would go again tomorrow if someone said, "Hey, you want to go?" Yes, I do.
You're there.
And in the past, I haven't always been great about putting myself in pictures, in layouts. This time I decided that I would. I decided I'm having fun on these vacations. I want people to see that too. Well, so here I am, not always looking my best or doing
the pictures.
But I'm in the pictures. They're my memories, so I enjoy that a lot.
So that's your first page.
This is going to be my first page of my
Okay.
album. This page right here, it could be a first or last page in an album, I think, because for us, you know, on the cruise, here's the cruise ship. I use the tags. These tags are awesome.
Oh, okay.
They're great size.
Those are the number 8 Dina Wakely media tags that we're always talking about.
Yep, and they are so versatile. So what I did, I just covered it again with some of this paper. The top and the bottom, I cut one of my photos to fit, and then on the back, I have some journaling.
Oh my gosh, that's perfect.
So, you know, that way you can see it. The same with this tag. I just have a picture.
So
and
you
there's
have a picture, and then on the back you have journaling. Oh my word.
And I made this big pocket. So what I basically did is just kind of cut down the size of my page right here. So instead of, you know, 12 by 12, I'm going 8 by 8. And then I used foam tape along the 3 sides to pop it out a little bit,
so you could,
to allow me to put more stuff inside the pack. And the things I did, like I have our boarding passes onto the ship. I have a menu from some of the meals in there. I have just, the instructions from the ship, or, things to know about the ship in there too. So any little thing like that that you want to put on, you can.
Show us your tag again. I think people are really commenting a lot about the tags. So she took the Dina Wakely mixed media white tags, number 8, and you could probably do number 10 if you wanted to.
Yeah, any size would work. Whatever size your layout is, what will fit.
So one side she put paper and her photo on, and then on the back she did her journaling, which is really nice. We talk about that all the time, Peggy, but I don't know that we've ever shown it.
And I just kind of reversed the colors on this one, from this one, just, to blend it in, to pop some color out and that sort of thing. So yeah, those are fun little things.
I think people love it. They said you have such great ideas.
And I mean, you could put them on, you can make a row of tags across the page too, if you wanted to do that, to show different things. And what I did on this one, these photos right here, they're 4x4 square. And then I created waves, because I mean, it's a ship, we're on water. So I created waves. I went, kind of lighter to darker colors here. And I'm going to show you how to do that today, because it's really easy to do.
I love it. And the going light to dark is kind of a wow for me, because that does make it
kind of brings your eye.
Water. It does. It looks more watery, and the ocean is darker on the bottom, I think. I mean, I haven't been there, but I'm guessing it's in the movies it is.
Yes. And I the Choose Fun down here, that was one of the themes from Carnival Cruise Lines, and so I felt like I needed to include those words as well.
I think I just want to include that in my life. I think that's a great life motto.
So anyway, I'm going to show you how to make these waves. Awesome. And I've got it started here. I just pulled one off, but I've got it started here where you can kind of see the waves there. Sometimes when the colors are really close, they're a little bit harder to see, and that's why I like to stitch them. And when I build these waves, I'm going to just take a circle punch, and that is as technical as I get most days. A circle punch with whatever paper you want to use, and then I just punch, and I do different depths.
So she's doing it kind of random, everybody, if you want to.
Very random.
And it looks good that way.
Because the one thing you don't want is to have every single one look identical to the next, because that just gets boring.
I could see myself doing that, Peggy, trying to make them all perfect.
Yep. And when you're out on the ocean, not every wave is the same there either. So they're all different. And that's why we do that with the circle punch. And you can use any size circle punch. I think mine is maybe 1 inch or 1 1/4 inches, I'm not real sure. But any size circle punch. And Memory Bound does carry a nice little selection.
We have a lot of circle punches. If you just go online and you go to punches and search on circles, you'll be able to find them. Yep. And I suppose if you're making smaller waves, you might use a smaller punch.
Yep.
Or if you're putting it on a card front, this would be great on a card front.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. Or you can go all the way across your page, or you can do just a small section. Or you can on this one, I just cut my paper to 6 inches because I use the 6-inch.
And then it turns out perfect. She's using the 6-inch paper pack.
Right, and then this can actually go onto your page, and you can put pictures below or whatever you want to do. So it's very easy to do that way. So once you get them cut, then you're going to stick them down, and you want to start at the top and work down. So each sheet that you use will just overlap the other one, and you can just overlap it, just to the bottom of the one before it, or you can bring it up and make them as tight as you want. Typically, the strips that I cut when I do this are 1 inch to 1.5 inches, and that just kind of depends on the amount of space I'm going to cover and how large I want my waves to be. I think those were 1 inch.
They look a little narrower.
And these are 1.5 inches.
And then Susan has an idea. She says it's for lazy people, but it's really not. Is that you could ink the edges if you weren't going to stitch them. You could ink the edges, and you would see
and bring that definition out.
Definitely.
Absolutely, absolutely.
You could also probably use the paper distresser if you want to have maybe rough waters.
Yeah, you know, anything like that would work to bring definition to it. Now, when I stitch my lines on that, I will usually cut or punch one extra strip, because this is what I'm going to use as my template to draw my lines. And so I usually just try to match it up to a wave, and then I'll draw my pencil line, and that's going to be my stitching line.
Oh, so you do it on every single one. Okay.
So that way you get the right curve in there, because I can't draw a stick person. So anytime I can, you know, use something like this as a template, then I do that. And you know, you could use a white Posca pin, Katie's favorite Posca pins, and you can do that all the way across if you want.
So you could stitch it, you could ink it, you could distress it, you could use a white Posca pen. I love that idea.
Yeah. So I mean, it's very easy to do, and it really it gives your layout just a little bit more of that wow factor, because you've done that.
A lot of texture, and it is amazing. I love it.
And another thing you could do is you can use you know, pop dots or foam tape, and maybe pop one up so you can tuck little fish underneath, or things like that, or little ephemera, that sort of thing. Sea plants.
You know what? It's so funny because Michelle commented the same thing at the same time you said it about putting fish between the layers, or a little boat, or just lots of things.
Great minds think alike, Michelle.
They do. They do.
But you know, like I put the fish here, and then I have the little crystal beads coming up.
Oh, he does. Okay, here I want to zoom in on this, because you can see she's got her little fish, and then she's got, you know, Kelly's favorite honeybee gems, the little tiny ones.
And I love these. I think
those are the new ones.
These are coming home with me today.
Those are the new ones. They're kind of iridescent and a little bit bigger.
I like the different sizes on there.
So I love that idea. Okay, and Kay said, if you were going to distress it, what color would you use of ink?
I would go with, you could go with you know, a color real similar to this. What color do I have here? The Salvage Patina, is that right? Is a good color, I think, or any kind of like an almond kind of color, just to give a little bit.
White.
Or you could do white, absolutely
like
white,
fence, or white pigment ink.
Yep.
Or you could try to get one that kind of matches your paper.
Yep.
Probably depends on your paper. Or you could go brown if you want to be kind of shabby and distressed.
And you know, bring out the colors in these dots. You can do that with it.
And then somebody, Regina, said you could have flip-flops in there.
Oh, yes.
From a swimmer, or
absolutely.
What do you call those frog feet thing that people, flippers? Or what do they wear when they swim? Peggy's doing the motion. I don't know. Flipper feet.
Fins?
I don't know, but somebody will tell us.
Yes, they will. Yes, they will.
Okay, so that is amazing. I love it, and I love that I will do those waves. I know I will.
Just such an easy way to do it, and it goes quick. And the best part is you don't have to be exacting about it.
Yes, and it's better if you're not.
Exactly, to give that interest to the page. The next one we'll go to here. I'm going to go to the Half Moon K. This is one of our stops on our cruise. And again, you know, I have a couple pictures of me that aren't the most flattering, but they're on there. They're on there.
How many times do people say, did you have a mom in your family? Like when you're taking pictures of your kids and growing up, and you're never in the picture because you're always taking them.
Exactly. But I have some unflattering ones, but I'm
very proud of you for being in the picture.
Because I loved that, the stop there. That was just a fun place to stop. And on this one, what I want to show is the journal box. And on my journal box, which I do try to journal on every layout that I can, but I want to highlight this, that, you know, halfway through my journal box, I used a stamp. And I'm not always great about incorporating things like that into my layouts, but I have quite a collection of stamps that are sitting in a drawer, and they need to be used, just like my paper does.
Interesting. It definitely makes it more interesting.
So, you know, go ahead and stamp it with a coordinating color or black, whatever works for you, and then I surrounded it with some stickers and die cuts there.
That is a great tip.
And then for a little bit more, you know, visual interest design tip kind of thing, I like to repeat design elements across the page. And on this one, to create my visual triangle,
there you go.
I use the waves, just a few waves. And I layered, these are like 3 waves that I kind of layered on top of each other. And then of course I use the crystals, which I love. I mean, fish have to breathe too.
There's a lot of bubbles in the water.
Yep.
And your fish, of course.
Yep.
Peggy, seriously, you are giving us so many tips. Whether you're going on, whether you have vacation pictures or a school book or whatever, a lot of these tips are wonderful. I love the journal box idea.
And as you can see, I framed the page with the striped paper, so that brings your eye into the photos as well, in between those lines. And then I used a variety of sizes of photos. So this is 4x6, this is 4x4, 3x3, 3x3, and then the journal box.
And it all fits very nicely.
It all fits really well. I mean, it doesn't look crowded. I mean, I've got what, 9?
It's
1,
very
2, 4, 5,
pleasing.
9 photos on there. So it doesn't look crowded at all. And then for your title, what I did on this one, and you can do this with letter stickers or anything you want, is I used 2 different colors. You can see the darker and the lighter color, and then just kind of shadowed it a little bit to help it kind of pop up a little bit. And then the white in the background really kind of brought it off the page. And I also like to use pop dots behind my titles.
Yeah,
just to bring
does make them. And you know, it just goes to show you, a lot of us think your titles have to be at the top or the bottom.
It can be anywhere.
And there it is in the middle, and it looks amazing.
And it can even be in the middle of a journal box if you want it to be.
And Peggy, Chris is asking how you made the splashes.
The splashes, they are a Cricut cut.
Is that a Cricut
cut?
cut?
Yep, they're a Cricut cut. But I'm sure you can, I know that there are some paper lines that have these types of stickers with them. You could stamp them and fussy cut them if you have a stamp that has that, anything like that. Or if you're better at drawing than I am, you can draw them out and cut them out too. I have to rely on my Cricut because, like I said, I can't do a stick person. But
there are some flower dies that you can actually take the petals and turn them into splashes.
Yes.
So if you have a flower die or punch, just look at it. Don't look at it as a flower, look at it as the shape, and then maybe you can figure it out.
Yep, cut a couple petals off and put those together, layer them up. And for added interest too, on the splashes, I do have pop dots behind some of them, so that they're layered a little bit too.
And some are popped up.
Yep.
Okay, Mary has some wise words. As we get older, for me, I wish I had more pictures of my grandmas with me. So I have learned our kids want those pictures.
Yes.
And to our kids, grands and great, we are beautiful.
Yep. Yes, absolutely. We certainly are beautiful, and we do need to be in the picture. We absolutely have to be in the picture, I think.
Okay, and then they're asking about the USA map. Was that from the Cricut also?
This,
or probably
it was a long time ago. This one, this was a Cricut cut, and then I put it on the darker background paper, and then I fussy cut around that. When I did it. But
so she cut the states
themselves
out and then glued them together and then cut around it.
Yep.
Freehand.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Everyone's loving this.
Good. Oh, I just want people
and
to have fun.
Somebody that's been
just
to Moon Cave. Jennifer's been there.
Isn't it a beautiful white beach? Oh my gosh,
it's gorgeous. So take a snip of this, or you go. You can go back and watch this video, of course, too.
And my favorite part of being on the beach was being out in the ocean. That was my favorite part. Is so relaxing and serene.
Yeah,
loved it. We'll go to this one next.
Okay, we have one more question that's not really related. Diane's asking about a small stamp of a camera to use as a placeholder for pictures to be added later. And you know what? Memory Bound is working on that. We will we have a stamp in the works that will have all of that and the word photo and stuff.
Oh, fun.
Won't that
That'd
be cool?
great.
So if you're doing a gift for somebody?
Yes, place photo here.
So, all right, thanks for asking about that, Diane.
And with that too, I know when I first gave these to my daughter, I put the clear photo corners on the mat so that she could just slip her photos in there.
Okay, that's a good idea too. Then that's definitely a hint that something goes here. And Ruby says you could use a paisley stamp for your splashes.
Oh,
Don't
that
you
would
love
be fun.
how
Yes,
people
absolutely.
have all these ideas?
How
I
fun
just
would
think
that
it's
be?
great.
Oh, that paisley design would just be so cool
It would
in
be.
there. That's a nice texture element.
Be really fun.
Well, we'll go on to
what's
this one
next?
now.
It's a good thing we're on the wide angle today.
This is Umbrella Street. This is in the Dominican Republic.
Gosh.
And when I saw, is it
That's
Sugar
beautiful.
Rush? Sweet Rush.
Yes.
The Vicky Bouton line come out, I knew that had to be the line that I used with this page, with these photos, because I loved well, actually, I just loved the peacock. And that's why I had to buy it all.
Actually, it was the peacock.
It was the peacock that drew me to it and I had to buy it all.
Oh, but that is a beautiful place. Oh
It's
my
gorgeous.
gosh.
I mean, you turn this corner and you see all these umbrellas, and it was just amazing. And so, like in my journaling, I kind of told the story that our tour guide told us about why these umbrellas were all there. And it was because it was a street they did a farmer's market on, and all the women had umbrellas over their carts because it gets so hot down there. So that's why it's called Umbrella Street.
Oh, that's really neat. Oh,
But a
gosh.
couple of things I want to point out here. Again, I don't look very good in that picture at all, but I'm in it.
You don't have to
I'm
point
in
that
it.
out. We think you look fine.
The one thing I want to say, when you do layouts, whether they're travel layouts or any kind of layouts, don't be afraid of color. Just use it. Just jump in the paint bucket and use the color all you want, because it's so much fun. And I kind of lose myself when I start getting a lot of color in there, because I love color. I love playing with color. And that's my one takeaway on this one.
This is a great page to talk about color for sure.
Yes.
It's so
And what I
cute.
did on this one is I kind of mimicked all the way across the umbrellas in the sky, just to bring some color in there. I wanted to use this blue as a background because it really coordinated with the blue of the sky. And I mean, it was a gorgeous blue sky. Then the other thing I want to say is on the journal box, you can use patterned paper to do a journal box. You don't have to use just white or tan or anything like that, off-white. Use some of your colored, some of your patterned paper on that, because it works just as well. And this helped to bring the color into it.
Oh my gosh, yes.
As well.
Yes, that is really neat.
And again, the peacock.
There's
I
the
had to
peacock.
have the peacock.
We have a customer watching named Karen Peacock.
Oh yeah.
She loves the peacock also, so let's zoom in on that so we can get a good look at it.
But Karen, then you need to
She
buy
needs
this
to get
line.
the Vicky Bouton
You have to buy that,
collection,
yes,
for sure.
So this was really kind of fun, and here to kind of frame, a few of the photos, banner strips, 3 inches, and then cut your notch. It goes above and below. You don't have to worry about it going all the way underneath your photos. You
It
just
looks
cut
like it
that way.
is, but Peggy's very sneaky, and they actually just underlap.
Yep.
Is underlap
Yep.
a word, or did I make up a new word? I don't know, but it goes underneath just a little bit.
Just a little bit. It's a way to save paper and get things lined up, and it's really a lot
And
of fun.
I see a pattern going on there, Peggy. You've got like your colors mimic each other from the outside in.
Yep, they do. So that was kind of fun to put together.
I can see why.
Our next stop on our cruise
I love that. Our next stop.
next stop.
That's so good. That's so good.
was a whale watching adventure.
Oh,
And
this one caught my eye this morning.
This is one of my favorite ones. I learned so much about whales that day that we went out on the water, and you'll see that and I incorporated what I learned too. You'll see the little dots on some of these tails, and the whales actually they're kind of like our fingerprint, and they have a very unique marking on their tails.
We have not had homeschool for a long time, Peggy, so thank you for teaching us that.
So I had to put some fun facts about the whales there that I learned that day. The other thing I learned that day is don't sit in the front row of the ship because waves will come up over the top of the ship and you will be soaked.
Is that the
So
wettest
sit
part?
toward the back. Sit toward the back. That's my piece of advice if anyone goes on a whale watching adventure, unless you want to get wet.
That is good to know for sure.
So on this one, this piece right here dictated to me the colors that I was going to use on the layout. And this is the pamphlet from the tour company that did the whale watching adventure for us. So I included that pamphlet, and then that, as I said, dictated the colors. So the red, the yellow, a little bit of stripe just to coordinate everything else together. That was where the design started from for me. And then, the whale tails, because that's what we're seeing. You can't really see them real well. We have a few tails, a lot of pictures that are real similar, but it was fun. It was a great day. It was really a lot of fun. And then the one thing I want to talk about on this page is the title. I know some people, will do pages and they won't do titles because they don't like to do titles, or they don't think they're very good at titles, and that sort of thing. I tend to put titles on every layout I do, and I have three basic things that I like to incorporate in a title when I do it. I need something small, I need something medium, and I need something large. So when we look at this title right here, you'll see that the triple layer of the big word. There's my large element on the title, and then these crystals here that kind of highlight the frame. That's my small element. And then the waves and the shark, or the whale, I'm sorry, those are my medium sized elements in the title, along with some of the letters. It can be different sizes, different font styles. But that's how you add added interest into your title.
For me, I just kind of think about the large piece. I don't ever kind of embellish it, is what you're doing.
Yep.
And that is really cool. Now on your last page, what was your title? Let's look at your
Umbrella Street. This one I didn't really follow my rules as well. But what I did here,
but kind of you did.
I consider this my entire photo or title. So this is going to be my large element, my medium element, and my small element.
Sure.
So that's what I kind of try to keep in mind when I do titles.
We are all going to be thinking about that on our
Small,
next
medium,
layouts.
large. Yep. So you can do that. And another thing I like to do is incorporate different fonts, and you can do that by using different letter stickers. Use your die cutting machine. Do that. I think you guys still have alphabets here.
We have alphabets here. Yeah.
Yeah, you can come here.
If
you can cut.
If you're local, we have I don't know, maybe a dozen different alphabets in our AccuCut Center. And I know a lot of our customers have big shots, and they have different fonts for that. So it's
Tim
perfect.
Holtz has a couple great.
Oh yeah, he's got lots of fonts.
Yes,
and
so
they're not bad. They're around $20.
Yes,
so.
I think that, which is great. Very affordable that way, because you're going to use them over and over and over again. So that's how I kind of did that, and I wanted to use the same type of font all the way across. This is a die cut piece from I can't think of which one it is.
From a collection.
Pretty little. It's over there, but yeah, that was from a collection pack, a ephemera pack. So
it's just, I think what I love is everything's straight, and then on the far left you've got kind of a tipsy picture at an angle, and then on the right you've got them kind of at an angle. And I don't know, you just have a way about doing this, Peggy. That's amazing.
This was a fun one for me to do. I really enjoyed that one. Now we're going to get.
Are we off our cruise?
We're off our cruise now. That's as
as
far as I got on the cruise. We're headed to the mountains now.
Okay. We'll go to the mountains with you, Peggy.
Okay, cool. I'm very fortunate because my daughter likes to take a lot of pictures, and I use her pictures.
Daughters are good about that.
And then I text her and I say, I'm doing this layout, write me the journaling. And she does. And she does.
That's good too.
So yeah. On this one, the things that I wanted to kind of highlight are the use of the shapes, the triangles, because I want to mimic the shape of a mountain. And that
okay.
was kind of what I used on that.
So she's got them there.
And then the
over
other thing
here.
I wanted to show was the photo block. The last time I was here, we talked a lot about photo blocks. And many times when you do a photo block, you think, oh, I can only do it on this page, or I can only do it on this page.
Oh,
but you can extend it across the page to give it just a little more visual interest there. So it doesn't have to just be on one page. You can add to it, and add another row if you want. Whatever will work. But that's one thing you can do. You can just add that across. And again, like I said, in this one I did want to mimic the elements, and the reason I actually did this one was because, again, it's Echo Park. They have a great Away We Go.
Away We Go. Okay, let's show that collection.
When I saw this one, not only did I like the colors of it, but the mountain on the back.
Oh, okay.
Drew me in, and that was what I wanted to do. I thought, I have to use this. I need these photos, and I'm going to do something.
Your colors.
Yep, that dictated the colors that I used on the layout.
And that's called Away We Go. It's one of the travel collections, and this one's from Echo Park. And it's got a lot of different things on it.
Yes, it does.
Mountains, and it's got little cars and cactus and compass and things like that.
And the colors are so pretty, and they just really blend together well, I think.
They do. That looks really neat, very nice.
And my triangles, they are Tim Holtz, the nesting triangles.
Oh, yeah.
So the two smallest sizes are the ones I use there. Some of the triangles are just the large triangle, some I layered. And on these I inked all of the triangles as well, just to give it a little bit more definition.
So that's the stacked tiles.
The stacked
dies
tiles
from Tim Holtz. And the cool thing is there's 5 sizes, and you get 5 dies of each size. So Peggy could cut out a bunch at the same time.
Yes, yes. I mean, I could cut my larger triangles and my smaller triangles all together on the same roll, so that was nice.
Shannon commented, great Southwest colors, which it is.
I know, it's beautiful. It's beautiful paper. And then here again, on the journal block, I added the mountains just to give that a little bit of extra interest. I mimic that with these right here, and then the triangles to do that. And then we had a stamped element too.
Oh, there it is. Sneak
So
it
you
in.
can sneak something like that in there too.
Okay, and there's a question about your Polaroid type
Yes,
pictures.
I was going to go to that one next.
Okay, all right.
Okay, to create the Polaroid type picture, cardstock and picture, use whatever color you want. My photos are 3x3 here, and what I did, I cut the photo mat to 3 1/4, so 1/4 of an inch wider than your picture. And then lengthwise, you want to go 1/2 an inch longer than your picture. So for the 3, I'm going to cut it to 3 1/4 by 3 1/2.
So 1/4 on the side and 1/2
on the
vertical, going up and down. That's pretty easy to remember.
It
It looks
is.
like a perfect, I don't know what I want to say.
Like a Polaroid.
It looks like a perfect Polaroid.
And this one is kind of funny because my daughter and her husband and the little boys, they went mountain climbing one day. And at the time, my oldest grandson was just 3. And in the journaling, I have that on here. I used, a quote from him on the journaling. But she said they got about 30 yards from the trailhead, and he was tired of climbing mountains already. And it was day 1.
I'm tired of it just looking at the pictures.
But
That's
yeah,
a lot
so I
of
thought that
work.
was kind of fun to include in the journaling. But going back to the Polaroids, it gives you room to, write something
Sure.
on here, like wherever the photo was taken at, or that sort of thing. You could do the Polaroids all the way across the page if you wanted to, and various sizes. Some bigger ones with some smaller ones underneath it, that sort of thing. Just to have like an area to journal. If you don't want to put a journal block in there, your journaling could be whatever you write underneath the photo.
Exactly, exactly.
And then to tie the photo block together across the 2 pages, I just cut 1/8 inch strips and then went around.
Here, I thought that was a a mat. I
Nope.
thought that was like you put it on one cardstock piece.
You can do that. I never think about that until after I have the whole thing
After
down.
you
and I
go
think,
through all the little
that
strips,
needs
it's
some
like,
definition.
oh, okay.
So, yep.
Okay, Shannon just asked about the dye for the Polaroid. It is not. Peggy said she cuts her, in this case, white cardstock, but you could use any color, she said. 1/2 an inch taller and 1/4 of an inch wider.
Yep.
So, for example, her pictures are 3 by 3, so she cut the white cardstock 3 1/4 by 3 1/2, and it's very proportionate. Everybody's really loving that.
And you can play around with that if you want it to be a little bit, deeper, so you have more room to write on it, or if you have, another sticker that you maybe want to put on there to, decorate it up.
If you need a
and
little
you need
more
more room.
space.
You can play with that. You can make it as wide or as narrow as you want.
The Polaroid police are not going to come out and check it and make sure
That
it's
is true.
correct.
That is true.
Very nice. Peggy, everyone is really loving this. They are loving all. There's so many ideas that you are sharing just by bringing in your layouts, and we love it.
I enjoy it. It's a lot of fun. This is,
I've got a few things I've stashed away in the back of my head now that I've learned today.
I'll move these just a little bit here.
And
We'll
we
go
are
to
not
some
done
one
yet.
page. No, we've got just a few more here.
Stay tuned.
We've got a couple more. Oops, down, it's okay. This one. This was a fun one for me to do. My oldest grandson is dinosaur crazy. And so last summer, my daughter and son-in-law and the boys, they were going to Michigan to visit family, and they decided that they would stop in Chicago at the Field Museum to see Sue the T-Rex.
Sue?
And Sue the T-Rex.
Oh my gosh.
And he was just so excited about getting to go. And on this page, what I started out with, first were the dinosaur tracks and the dinosaur. And if you can see, I actually cut that out of the paper.
Oh, okay. So she cut the negative
Yep.
out and then put paper
and
behind
then put paper
it.
behind it.
Can't tell on the
It's a little
on
hard.
the camera, but you can feel it.
Yeah. I don't know if I can
What
pull
made
it
you
here.
do that instead of like cutting them out of the brown, or is it just something different?
Something different. I wanted to try it.
Looks
I'd
good.
actually had this in my Cricut design space for a few months, and I thought I want to give that a try. I want to see how that works. And I really liked how it worked, so that was fun. And remember when I said earlier with Umbrella Street, don't be afraid of color? Well, this one is pretty monochromatic. So you don't have to use all kinds of color all the time. You can use, just very monochromatic look, and let the colors in the photos, because the colors don't all match well, but we let those stay out. We emphasize the brown.
I think it looks good.
So this journaling was actually kind of fun to do, and I'm going to read it to you whether you like it or not.
We love it.
Just you can have fun with your journaling. You don't always have to be what, where, when,
Right.
who, why. And on this one, I kind of did it like a newspaperish kind of thing, or a book. One warm August morning, while en route to Michigan, paleontologist Brazen Bennis made a stop at the Chicago Field Museum. The first one in the museum that day, the young scientist looked on in awe at seeing Sue.
And then there he is.
There he is.
Especially for a little boy that loves dinosaurs.
He just loved it. And so up here, what I did, this is a little tricky thing too. My daughter didn't even pick up on this. I was surprised. But his name, and then this is a little nickname, and the study number 1322. On the day that they went to the Field Museum, that's how many days old he was.
Oh my gosh.
So I added math into that. There's
you
a
had to
homeschool
do some
moment.
math, yes. Oh my gosh.
And another design
Very
element that I
clever.
did on this one was I looked at the banner from the Chicago Field Museum.
Okay.
And that's why the title looks like that. I wanted to mimic that
Oh.
with it.
Very, very cool. So there's the banner that was outside. And there is Peggy's title.
And then I know, when you go on vacation, you always take so many photos, and it's hard to decide, hard to pare them down.
You want them all.
Exactly. And so, where did I put those at? Simple Stories, is that right?
Yes.
Okay. They make these photo flips. And these are wonderful. They have adhesive on the top or the side, whichever way you want your flip to go. They have a variety of sizes. This package has 3 or 4 different sizes in it. I used the 3x4 on this layout, and this is also a good way not only to use or to get your additional photos in there, but the cut aparts that you get on a lot of the collections will also fit right in there.
There's a lot of 3x4, 4x6, or 4x4.
Yes. So I mean, that's a great thing to do. And what I did, I put the first one right underneath the photo mat, and then flip that.
Oh, that's
some of his favorite dinosaurs.
I bet he loves looking at this.
And the one thing that I want to say is, when you do this, make sure you have something here. Don't let this be blank, because you don't have, you know, use your space. Use the space. I see that's not quite straight.
Everyone is really loving all of this, Peggy. And the fact that you're pointing out, you're not just saying, here's a layout, you're pointing out why you did things and tricks and tips, and you definitely have a captured audience today.
Just fun things. You know, again, here I used pop dots on that dinosaur. That was a sticker. I used pop dots on this. This and this are from the same sheet of paper. Again, you know, it's paper from the collection pack. It's the pattern paper.
Right, so you don't have to always
use just plain paper.
Use plain paper. I like that. I can't say that I've done that, but I'm going to.
And I kind of like to, you know, go around a shape, make my, you know, I kind of like to do that. It's really not as hard as it looks, but you do have to experiment with it a little bit.
But you can always print it on a piece of regular computer paper.
And that's what I do. I print all of it on computer paper,
and then see how it works.
Then I take like this piece of paper, and I use my temporary adhesive and put it over the top of where I printed on the paper, on the regular computer paper, and then I run it through my printer that way.
So that is very clever. I know Diane has done that quite a bit. So I think we should cover that one more time. So she prints it out on a regular sheet of paper on her printer.
Yep.
Then she would tape this with some adhesive on the back, removable or whatever.
Yep.
Tapes it right over the font or the printed piece.
The text box or whatever.
And then print it again, and it's going to print right onto her paper. So very clever idea.
And then I'm going to go to this one. And if you're doing an album for a vacation, this would be a great final page of your album, because the sun's going down, it's a sunset, and it's beautiful. And vacations are always so relaxing. And if you get a sunset like that, it's really hard to leave. But you've got to come home. And what I used here...
It's hard to leave. I like that.
To do, you know, for this, I just used the oxide sprays. I used 2 different colors of oxide sprays.
So like right now she's got spiced marmalade and carved pumpkin for some oranges.
Yep. And so,
did you do that first?
I did that. I actually stitched it first, because these lines are all stitched. I used a template and I stitched all the lines for the sun. And then then I thought, oh, I need to put something around that, because I don't think about that all, you know, at the very beginning. And so then I got the oxide sprays, and I cut a circle the same size as this circle to cover this, because I had already put this one down, and then just sprayed around it.
Oh, there you go. There you go.
And this right here is going back to my 1-inch squares.
Oh, wait a minute. Oh, I thought that was a paper.
Nope.
Oh my gosh, it's her 1-inch squares.
1-inch squares, inked all the edges on the 1-inch square. Cut the shape, you know, the circle with the circle cutter, put them on there, and then I could trim them off, and then put that on the...
Oh my gosh.
And with something like that, this, you know, you can cut a circle in your background paper if you want, and put that in there. I actually used foam tape on this one, and just to bring that the white sheet up a little bit further.
Just give it a little more dimension.
And then the chipboard shapes. These are the 49 in Market Spectrum.
Oh, sure. Spectrum.
Yep. And then the die cuts on there too.
Oh my gosh, that's so cool. Well, everything has been cool. I don't even know what my favorite is. There, Mary says it all. She goes, there's so many wows, and they love the sunset. And I'll get up close here so you can see where she sprayed it. And I was going to ask you what paper that was. I didn't realize you had assembled those little 1-inch.
Yep. There's some Vicky Boutin in there. There's some 6x6 paper pad.
Good for your scraps, for
yes,
sure.
Yes, absolutely. I do save those. I didn't used to, but I do now.
So, well, yes, we're like to say it's hard to throw away scraps for sure.
Yep.
Well, you've taken us on a cruise today. We've been in the mountains. We've been to the
Mexico,
Field Museum.
Yeah. You've been on the beach in Mexico.
So if Peggy has inspired you, we do have a lot of different collection packs for travel.
Yep.
She showed us Away We Go, and we talked about Road Trip, which is kind of a retro from Steve Duncan and Carta Bella. Oh, you found a lot here.
Yeah, you have a lot.
Time to Travel is the photo play. And these are all online. You can find them online. And Scenic Route is from Echo Park, and I like the colors in this one. I think it's nice and got good colors, kind of dark. And then she's got her summer. Then when you're on your cruise and you're going to the Dominican Republic, we've got Beach Party. Somebody else says they're like me and they don't know their favorites. And then we have Summertime. So, you know, you could do a lot of the things she's done with different collection packs. Janet, I hope you can put up the Road Trip again. Shannon wants to see a link to that. Peggy never fails to inspire, 12 by 12 pages. Yeah, there's the Road Trip. That's the newest travel line, and that came from Carta Bella and Steve Duncan, and we actually sold out of it, and this is our second batch. So
it's just I love the weight of the paper. The colors in the papers are just beautiful.
The Carta Bella has got a texture paper. It's a little heavier than most other papers. Well, let's see. I'm seeing if we need anything else here.
I actually have a layout started using this at home. I just didn't get it done in time, but all the way across the page in rows are the words, "Are we there yet?" I cut out.
Gosh, how many times did your kids say that when you were traveling?
You know, "Are we there yet? Are we there yet? Are we there yet?"
He hit me.
Yeah, that one too. Mom, I have to stop for the bathroom.
I remember all those good things.
Yep.
Well, Peggy, we can't really thank you enough for sharing all of these wonderful, beautiful layouts. You've given us so many tips today. And okay, they're asking if have you started yourself a Instagram page yet, or a blog or anything? Okay,
I promise to do that before I come back again.
Well, if Peggy doesn't mind, I will take pictures of all of these. If her family doesn't mind being famous on Facebook, I will take pictures of her things and we will post them here, and Janet will put them on our blog. And Sherry Brown says, she herself says, "Are we there yet?"
Yep.
I like to say it right when you like get on the interstate or something, because it really bugs my husband and that makes me happy. Okay, so if you're in the area, please stop by and see us. I hope you have a super crafty weekend. And for all of you that are loving the scrapbook layouts, I've got good news, because Teresa is back on Monday, and she is going to be doing layouts with the Simple Stories page planner templates. So she's going to be showing us how to use those and to help design your layouts. And Peggy, thank you again so very much.
You're welcome. I enjoy it.
And thanks everyone for watching. I hope you have a great weekend, and we'll see you soon.